Today's video of the week is Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 3 and 4 coverage videos. Sometimes we will have double coverage videos like this, and sometimes we will have single ones, but let's get into it with Episode number 3. Ezekiel and them continued along with Jesus and Morgan with captured saviors. Then Jesus and Morgan get into an argument, and happens because they have different views on what they should do with the saviors, and which causes them to have a kind of a little bit of argument and then a fight. Meanwhile, Rick and Daryl are still in house with Rick at gunpoint from a savior until Daryl kills the savior, and others then arrive and start a shootout with Rick and Daryl. Finally, Rick and Daryl escape the shootout alive and later are seen with baby Gracie, which is a baby that was a savior's daughter, but the savior was, I believe, killed by Rick. Eric, which is Aaron's boyfriend, died because he was shot, and Aaron then arrived and said he will take care of Gracie and make sure she is safe. Now let's move on to episode number 4. But before we do, I do gotta say a key thing that happened in the ending of episode 3, and that was that the saviors had used some type of bomb against pretty much the kingdom's people, and pretty much laid them out, and that was the ending of episode 3. Now let's get into episode number 4. Episode 4 started out pretty much where episode 3 had ended, with King Ezekiel and them, and it looked as if everybody was dead from the kingdom. Ezekiel wakes up, and there's no sign of Shiva, no sign of Carol or Jerry or anyone. Pretty much everybody is dead. And then he pretty much realizes that everybody is dead, and that they were going to come back to life as zombies, so they do come back to life as zombies, and he starts to get away, but then some random savior or whatever guy, comes and pretty much attacks him and keeps him captive in a way as a hostage, and takes him to the sanctuary, and was going to eventually kill him, and then Jerry comes back, and who is obviously alive still, and helps King Ezekiel. And then after that, him and Ezekiel are trying to fight off against the zombies that were pretty much lured there from the walk, with Ezekiel and that savior guy. And then it switches over to Carol, who is pretty much stealing or trying to get some weapons or whatever from the saviors. It leads them pretty much to the sanctuary and outpost of the sanctuary anyways. And then it actually leads Carol to Ezekiel and them. Carol pretty much gets the keys in that and helps Ezekiel and them back into safety. But they said that they got the weapons, and Carol said no, they didn't. She stuck Daryl and Rick on them, and they got the weapons back from them. But then it goes back to Carol and them trying to get back to the kingdom in a sense. But it's slowed down because King Ezekiel was injured because of the bomb. And then eventually he pretty much has a moment in like a swamp type area where he is kind of doubting himself, and he says that I'm no king to Jerry, because he says just let me be here, let me pretty much in a way die. I'm slowing you guys down. And Jerry says no. Well, then they're about to leave, and the zombies are about to approach and all that. And Shiva comes and pretty much sacrifices herself to save King Ezekiel, Carol, and Jerry, which is something that was very, very sad to witness, but it was something that I think if they were going to eventually kill off, and it's very sad because it's sad to see something like that happen, but if they were going to kill off Shiva, I think it went out in the best way that it possibly could, and that was her sacrificing herself to save King Ezekiel in some type of way, and that is exactly what she did. And then at the ending, it was pretty much King Ezekiel and them returning back to the kingdom and facing the kingdom people that were still alive, that weren't injured from the bomb, didn't really go out to fight in a sense. And he couldn't even speak because he was so upset about Shiva, and he walks off, and then that's how it ended. But next week's looks amazing. But I don't know if I'll get to it next week because next Wednesday's video of the week will be a WWE pay-per-view Survivor Series predictions and NXT War Games predictions. And then the Sunday after that will be NXT War Games coverage and WWE pay-per-view Survivor Series coverage. So it might be like a double one again coming up very soon. But next Wednesday's video of the week will be a WWE Survivor Series predictions and NXT TakeOver War Games predictions. Have a great day. Peace. Thank you guys for watching.